This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Here we have a nice narrow street with the light coming from the top here, top left side. So it's almost like a backlit situation, and here if I zoom in at 70mm I can have a tight composition with one single subject walking at the end of the street, creating a nice silhouette. I was lucky to catch one good photo before, but I will wait a couple of minutes more to see if there is maybe a more interesting subject coming in. So, good morning and welcome to Onomichi. So today the plan is to shoot a little bit around here, break down some of the compositions as usual, and I want to talk about why I decided to sell my 24-70. I used to have the Sigma 24-70 Art version 1, and it is a fantastic lens optically speaking, but it is just way too heavy and way too bulky for the way I shoot and for my workflow, so I decided to get rid of it. Now that this never-ending summer is finally over, I can finally go out, shoot a little bit more, and I have some pretty cool travel plans for the fall. So I wanted a replacement, I wanted another general purpose zoom lens for that. And if we think about the potential replacements, there are like the Tamron 28-75, the version 2, there is the Sigma 24-70 version 2, there is the Sony 24-50, which was very interesting, and the 24-70 G Master V2. I'm not a huge fan of Tamron lenses overall, so I decided to take it out of the selection. Then looking at the Sony, the 24-50 looks very interesting, but actually I would have preferred it to be a 28-70 because I really don't need 24. I don't shoot at 24, and I still wanted a little bit more range on the telephoto end. Then the Sony 24-70 G Master V2, just way too expensive, so also it was out of the selection. So which led me to get the 28-70 from Sigma. I am in a very lucky position now where 100% of my work is dedicated to YouTube and my personal photography projects, but still it took me so much time to finally get rid of this 24-70 because I had a mental block thinking of a proper photographer needs a 24-70 in his kit. But what really unlocked everything mentally speaking is I thought of maybe if I get a photography job eventually, and if I need something wider than 28mm, I can always get a cheap prime 20mm or something like that. I think Hilltop is making one, so and it should cost around $200, so it's not very expensive. And still talking about potential photography gigs, and if I don't need something crazy wide, this 28-70 from Sigma, I tested it, is way good enough optically speaking to deliver fantastic results. So I purchased the lens to 28-70 from Sigma with my own money, and I decided to come here in Onomichi for 2 days to use it for a longer period of time, have a good feel out of it, touching it with my hands, and also getting used to the photos it takes in terms of post-processing, like getting used to the contrast and the colors. And yeah, that's the plan for today and tomorrow. I hope you will have a good impression of Onomichi. I really recommend to come here if you come by Hiroshima. It's really not that far, about an hour and a half by train. And so now let's go shoot. I took a similar shot like in the winter this year, where there was a bunch of flowers behind a window like this with a little bit of texture. I think it creates a very interesting effect, like the picture I took in the winter really looked like a painting, and I will try to replicate that here. I really like the vibe of this old looking shop that sells a cigarette, I guess, and I will grab this shot vertically like this. I'll be waiting for someone to walk around here, but if I'm not really careful with my placement, you see the nice pipe, I don't know if we call this a pipe in English, and this kanji are separated from this
sign here, but if I'm not careful and I place myself like that, for example, here the sign would be spilling onto the pipe. There's the kanji behind the sign also going out a little bit, so it's a bit sloppy. So even in this very simple looking shot, you have to be careful if you want to make the best version of it.
And before we continue, I want to take a brief moment to thank today's video sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is an easy-to-use all-in-one website platform that makes it simple to create a beautiful website, connect with your audience, and sell anything from physical to digital goods all in one place. At the start of the year, I decided to move my website and consolidate everything on Squarespace. It's a decision I'm very happy with today, mainly because it is so easy to manage. I now have a beautiful store, a clean portfolio, and an organized blog all on my personal website. The hardest part of moving to Squarespace was making the decision to do it, because despite having no coding or web design knowledge, building my website from scratch was incredibly easy, smooth, and even enjoyable. Starting from a blank canvas can be tricky, but with Squarespace high-quality templates, you can begin designing your website on a solid foundation, customize it as you like, and have it ready to launch in just a few hours. My online business is a crucial part of my activity, so having a platform that runs smoothly, delivers my digital products efficiently, and offers a variety of payment solutions is essential. Squarespace is the perfect solution for both growing and established online businesses, and my experience with it has been a breeze. I highly recommend trying it out for yourself. Head to squarespace.com for a 14 days free trial, and when you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/Adrien to save 10% off of your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for supporting my channel and my work here. I really appreciate it. And now let's get back to the video. In Onomichi there's a hill, and on top of the hill there's a view deck. The view is okay, I would say, but it is actually more interesting to photograph people interacting with the view deck because it was built quite recently and it has a very modern architecture. I took one of my favorite shots here last year, but it's really worth coming here for one very particular reason, which is actually not related to photography. Next to the view deck there is a little souvenir snack shop, and you know, in Japan, in any touristy areas you will have people selling soft ice, matcha taste and all that, and the majority of them all taste the same because it comes from the same big manufacturer. But here in this little shop in Onomichi it is different. This area is well known for their citrus fruit like lemon, tangerine, and they have very good mikan lemon ice cream. So if you ever come to Onomichi, you have to try it, whether it's raining, whether it's cold, I don't care. It's a must try. My personal favorite is the mikan softo. It's the one that has the tangerine mandarin taste, the best. Just wait for a while to see if I can get a shot of this temple, and you see where there are now two people looking at stuff. I will wait a little bit to see if I can have only one person next to the temple being there as a silhouette. It's gonna be hard because there's still a lot of passage, there's a lot of people, but yeah, I'll give it a chance. About 5 minutes here to see if I'm lucky. Cool scene here. We are in this really narrow path going down to the city, and here in the foreground, like, everything is in the shadow, but there's a little bit of light coming from the right, and I was lucky someone walked into the light towards me, so I grabbed that vertically at 70 mil if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, it's a high contrast scene, but it should turn out quite good. Somehow it is really the kind of things I like, these little Japanese small trucks. It's all about like the angles from this building on the left side, the other small street coming from the right side, a little bit of light coming, also some tree here. I don't know, I find it quite well balanced. I really like these narrow little streets because they create nice vanishing points. You have plenty of leading lines like leading to the end of the street in a way. And in this situation it is pretty contrasty. You see here it's pretty dark, we are in the shadow. There, like in the center, we have more light. So how I do to have a proper exposition, I change the metering mode to a centered weighted, and yeah, I think it works well in this sort of situation, dealing with the higher contrast scene. Whenever I do photography in a new place and I'm in this exploring mode, I like to do it in a very spontaneous way. I plan to come to a certain location, but then I really follow my instinct and follow what is attracting my eye. But this time I'm glad I did a little bit of planning because I wanted to shoot an area of Onomichi I haven't really been to so far. And I am a morning person and I like to shoot the morning light. And if I trusted my gut to go there first thing in the morning tomorrow, I would have been a little bit surprised because, as I said probably earlier, there's a big hill in Onomichi, and because of that the light is also available in certain areas of the city only at a certain time of the day. And I checked a website and there's also an app called Shadow Map where you can see the evolution of the sun, how it moves throughout the day, and I could notice that this area I wanted to go to, there's basically no light at all up until something like 10 in the morning. So I'm glad I checked that, and that's where I'm heading to right now. That's a place I saved on Google Map, not really to come eat, but just because I saw in Street View how cool it looks, and I just got caught up and I chat with someone I randomly met in the street for about 20-30 minutes. So I lost a bit the light, but still there's a nice soft light coming from the left side, and since I'm shooting here from the shadow side, we have a nice depth and nice 3D pop. You have some of the last light hitting the windows there, and it creates a nice orange bright area. And I really like how this street is a little bit curved. There's another one coming from the right, but I see something vertical here at 50 mil, hopefully with someone like walking on the street. Could be nice. And yeah, I will wait a little bit to have someone filling up the frame. Here I bring down the exposure compensation quite a lot to protect the highlight and have some color and some detail in the sky. And the shadows, I will have to bring them up a little bit in post. I love this angle because there's enough light to make some pretty cool night photography. And you see this shop is pretty quite bright, so I was lucky someone walked by this area and it creates a nice silhouette just like we see now. And I took this one vertically. I think it was 35mm, and yeah, worked quite well. Exposure compensation at -3, I guess, so yeah, protecting the highlights, and yeah, you'll see the results.
So we are up for some sort of a sunrise mission. I will go where there is this pagoda with a nice view on the whole city. I hope the colors and the sun will be there. I'm a little bit out of breath. I had to rush the little climb to come here, but I think we are pretty lucky with the condition. I will show you that. Not bad, right? I used to take this photo, this landscape from there, but the issue if you stand there, especially on 28, which is wide enough for me, but probably not very, very wide, you would end up with the pagoda way too much on the left and struggling to fit in this, the water and the bridge in the background. So this time I actually came all the way here. There's a little, you have to be careful there, there's a little gap, but you come here, I can feel my ankle already itching because there must be so many mosquitoes around here, but from there I have a much better angle to fit nicely both the pagoda and the water and the bridge, and obviously the nice light. I really like this angle too. I can do something vertical, focusing only on the pagoda, and include these branches here as a foreground, kind of circling around the pagoda to direct the viewer's attention to it. I think it works quite well, and yeah, you will see the results right now. It's a lot different from yesterday afternoon. I'm the only one. I like this kind of western looking house here on the right side. We have the path that leads to it, creating leading lines obviously. Also here, like the little plants are nicely hit by the light, creates nice contrast and some interest in the left part of the frame. I just wish that this greenish fence thing was not here, but yeah, I can't do much about that, I guess. Here I focused on this little section with the yellow thing and the light. I composed something vertically like this. This house here, I don't know why, is very Ghibli-esque to me. here I'm trying to get a picture with only one or two subjects walking here. The light is really angled at the moment, creating long shadows, which I like. I want to make it horizontal, but if I do it vertical, I can also include this nice texture here on top of the street. So yeah, I might try both.